first guest tonight is a multi-award-winning journalist and news anchor with the best giggle in cable news. You can watch him 5 nights a week on CNN. Starting Monday, he starts a 2-week stint hosting Jeopardy. Please say hello to Anderson Cooper. Hey, Anderson.
Hey, how's it going, Jimmy?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
So you're doing the news right after we talk, right?
That's right. Yes, that's why I'm all dressed up. Yeah.
Yeah. And will you wear the same? We're wearing almost the same thing, but will you wear that, or will you switch? Do you switch from a comedy outfit to your news outfit?
I've been wearing this for the past, 3 or 4 days. So,
Okay.
I've given up.
What are you covering tonight? What's the big story?
Obviously, the trial of Derek Chauvin in the killing of George Floyd, and we'll have some more about where we are in this pandemic and a bunch of other stories. Probably.
You're here in L.A. right now, huh? You're actually right down the street from us. The last time I saw you was in March of last year, not this
when
March.
Andy Cohen tried to kill us.
When Andy Cohen tried to kill us. I'm glad you mentioned that, because this was right when we first heard of the pandemic, right?
Right. Yeah, you were doing Millionaire, and this was days before the entire country shut down, and Andy and I, for reasons I'm still not quite clear on, flew out to Los Angeles to appear together on Millionaire on the cusp of a global pandemic. And unbeknownst to you or I, Andy Cohen was already infected with COVID. Yeah. I flew with him on a plane. He hugged me during the show on television. He got very close to you, and then we flew back together.
Cohen 19.
Yeah.
I know. Were you nervous because I remember when he got back, and then he texted me. He's like, "Hey, I tested positive for COVID," and it was like, "Oh, terrific! That's great news." Were you worried when you got that news?
Yeah, especially because he had just sent me a bunch of photographs of us on the plane, like him with his arm around me, and him, with a glass of alcohol in his hand. I'm like, wow. And then I realized, oh my God, wait a minute. He actually hugged me during the show, and that's going to play weeks from now, and we are going to look like the biggest idiots that this person who at the time was infected with COVID just came up and gave me a big old bear hug.
It's funny you mentioned that, because, that was a thing, because we didn't really know at that time that this was going to be a year of this, and what a big, obviously, and terrible deal it would be. But I also remember your charity. As I recall, the charity you were playing for on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was you were buying stylish vests for dogs, right? Isn't that what it was?
No. It's a charity called Spike's Canine Fund. A former Navy SEAL started it, and it helps working dogs, police dogs, and military dogs get vests so that they're not injured in the line of duty. And
also, they look spiffy. A vest really brings it all together. It's not just about safety, but it's a look, too. But true. It's funny because, I guess it's not funny at all, but to Andy and I, it was funny in the months following, because all of a sudden now we're all focused on frontline workers and, these people who are heroically risking their lives to help people who are coming to these overcrowded hospitals. And there you are playing for Vests for Dogs.
Yes, obviously, in retrospect, there were other things I might have played for. That is absolutely true. Guest hosting on Jeopardy coming up. I played for 2 different charities, and all of them involve humans.
That's good. Well, that might be bad news for dogs, then. There could be a parvo virus that sweeps the country or something.
I still think it's a very good charity, my friend's charity, Spike's Canine Fund. But yes, I focused on humans.
This time, charity. Well, you learned your lesson. So you're hosting Jeopardy for charity?
I'm guest hosting. Yeah, I'm guest hosting Jeopardy for the next 2 weeks, starting on Monday, for 2 different charities. Yeah, and as you probably know, I'm a huge Jeopardy fan.
You are, yeah, right. You watch it with your mom growing up, right? It was like a thing you guys did. Watch.
It actually was. Yes, it helped us avoid talking to each other. So
I've seen you.
In WASP families, it's very good to have some television.
It's good in all families. Yeah. Television is what brings us together by setting us apart. So, this show, you've been on Jeopardy. How many times have you been a contestant on Jeopardy?
Okay, first of all, I was on like, Power Players Jeopardy. So I don't want to, make it seem like I was on the hardcore.
Right, the real crazy trivia nerds, right.
Right, they give us the special questions on those editions.
Right.
But, so I was on it 4 times. First time, I crushed it. I panicked the night before because I'd sort of agreed to do it and without really thinking about it, like going on Millionaire when you were there.
Yeah.
And I, the night before I was about to go, and I realized, oh my God, I don't know anything about geography. I don't know where, the Baltic Sea or the Arabian Sea. I mean, all these things run through your mind. So I tried to cram online. I read all these, buzzer theories by former Jeopardy champions and things about Alex Trebek's voice and getting into the cadence of it and the Zen rhythm of it. And but I crushed it the first time. The second time I was playing against Cheech Marin, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a cakewalk. I mean, I've seen Cheech and Chong movies. The synapses can't be firing that quickly. Turns out he is the smartest guy.
He's very smart, Cheech Marin, yeah.
He destroyed me. And do you know what it's like to walk into the CNN newsroom the day after Cheech Marin has destroyed you on like Wolf Blitzer reading the paper, like giving you side eye as you walk by.
I heard there was talk there might be a situation room with Cheech.
It could be.
So I
wonder
wonder because
other times.
I know that when I was a contestant on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I remember the question I got stumped on, and I wonder if you remember any of the Jeopardy questions that you missed when you were a contestant. Do you think you've learned them and you have them? Because I have them here.
Really?
You only missed 5 questions, I think, in 4 games. So that's pretty good.
Really? Wow.
But
Okay.
Let me run a couple by you so you can get warmed up.
I have no memory of them.
The category's capitals. Most of the ancient portion of this city lies on the east bank of the Tiber River.
What is Rome?
What is Rome is correct. That's right. You got it correct.
I got it wrong the last time?
Baghdad last time.
Oh, yeah, I was nervous.
Category, Daughters of the American Revolution. Abigail, known as Little Abby, was the oldest child of this U.S. president.
Who is Van Buren?
No, last time you answered Lincoln. The correct answer is John Adams. So, all right, we'll do one more, okay?
Okay.
Categories, musicals. This 2007 musical, based on a Mel Brooks film, featured such songs as The Brain and Puttin' on the Ritz.
What is Young Frankenstein?
That is correct. You got it almost right.
How could I have done that wrong the last time?
Last time you got it, you said Frankenstein, and of course, Alex jumped in and said...
It's got to be phrased in the form of a question.
Yeah, well, also, you have to have the young in there. All right, you did well. You are now, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. The Jeopardy people sent us these questions, and they told me if he doesn't get at least 2 of these right, he can't host. So this will be good. Anderson Cooper is guest hosting Jeopardy. We'll be right back with Anderson Cooper.
Right in the nuts. Spectacular. It was spectacular.
And as Ames goes to retrieve the tomahawk, Carson grabs him by the arm, pulls him back.
He just milks the laughter. He just waits.
I didn't even know you were Jewish.
That is the great Johnny Carson, of course, and the CNN is running a documentary called The Story of Late Night. I happen to be a part of it. You are not a part of it, right, Anderson, or are you?
I'm not a part of it. I wish I was. I'm excited to look at it.
Bill Carter put that together, and it is premiering next month on May 2nd, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now, let's get back to you. You, as we mentioned, are guest hosting Jeopardy this week.
Yes.
You dodged doom as a result of your friend Andy Cohen exposing you to the coronavirus very carelessly, almost killing both of us, 2 national treasures. Your son is turning 1-year-old this month, yes?
Yes, April 27th. Very exciting.
Will you have a birthday party for him, for your son Wyatt?
I guess I'm a really bad planner, clearly, so I haven't really planned anything yet. But yeah, I think I'll try to do something. I feel like, he obviously doesn't know what's going on with that. So I figured the only thing that really matters is just like staging. You know how they staged the moon landing?
Yes, sure, of course.
Yeah. So I just think I'm gonna like stage this. I'll get a cake, a prop cake, and put on a hat and balloons and maybe hire some people to just stand around. And then years from now, I can show him he had a great one birthday party.
So, so you will apply this fake news CNN principle to your own son, Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, no, I seriously, yes, I will probably get a couple friends and have a party.
I know you and Andy Cohen, you both have kids, and you hang out together, right? How often?
Yeah,
do you?
and Andy comes over with his son Benjamin every weekend, usually on Sundays or sometimes Saturdays. And it's funny though. I mean, he's been doing this now for this past year. But I've started to realize he's just coming over because he's doesn't know what else to do with his son, like with all this time, these
right.
Yawning chasms of time during, that he's had. And so, like, I'll say to him, last time he called up, he was like, oh, can I come over? I was like, yeah, what do you want to do? And he goes, I'd like to do about 3 hours. Like, he's just thinking about things in blocks of time. It's not really about, and there was one time I was like, well, I'm not going to be here. He was like, oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. He just needs a place to go.
Well, and not only that, but it's easier when you got two kids together because they entertain each other.
Sort of, although my son, is not even 1, and Andy's son is over 2, and so that's like a huge gap in ages at that age.
So you really have to keep an eye on Andy's son then.
You have no idea.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, I probably should not say this, but Andy's son, my son, somebody gave my son a bear that was like talked or clapped, and my son hadn't even played with it, and all of a sudden there's this smell in and some smoke, and we realized that Andy's son has taken my son's bear, put it in the microwave, and turned it on. And the bear, he baked the bear. It was in there for like 10 seconds, and literally there was smoke coming out of this.
Smokey the Bear, of course. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, it was,
well,
kids do the darndest things.
Keep Wyatt away from the Cohen boy. I don't know how many times I've told you. Thank you so much for being with us. Anderson Cooper, watch him on CNN every day, and guest hosting Jeopardy weekdays in syndication. Thanks a lot, Anderson. Take care. We'll be back with Emily Van Camp. If you like that video, click subscribe, and we'll be together until one of us dies.